Mhm. Come on, Google. Wow, it's really slow today, but bear with me. There we go. Now we're recording. Okay, so I'm going to take the roll. So, folks, I have to leave this screen. You know how we do it. When you hear your name, please respond verbally. Okay, let's see. Okay, Jeremiah Albert. Jeremiah Albert. Jaron Barnes. Jaron Barnes. Richard Blacher. Breon Brumfield.
I'm here.
Deja.
Here.
Kyle. Kyle Fulton. Sierra. Sierra Gaines.
Here.
Tia
I'm here.
Green. Okay. Okay, got you, Sierra. Tia's here? Okay. Jordan Hampton.
Here.
Jay Brion.
Here.
Cove.
Here.
Renee Lyons.
Here.
Nicenia Mafi. Nicenia Mafi. Mr. Oreki. Mr. Oreki. Jasmine Patterson.
Here.
Ashley. Ashley Sco. Timothy. Timothy Shorts. Elena.
Here.
Spencer. Spencer Tillman. Brodre.
Broderick, but I'm here.
Okay. Chloe.
Here.
Devontae.
Here.
Ever Winston.
Here.
Darlinda Wright.
Here.
Nataja Young.
Here.
All right, so we're missing a lot of people today. Let me check to see if anybody has dropped in since I started. I'm going to do one last call. Jeremiah Albert. Jaron Barnes.
Here.
Okay, Jaron's here. Richard. Richard Blatcher. Kyle Fulton. Niacenia Mafi. Mr. Oreki. Ashley Sco. Timothy Shorts. Spencer Tillman. Okay, folks.
It's you, Mr. Barnes.
Yes, who's this?
Kyle.
Okay, Kyle is here. Okay, great. Okay, let me mark Kyle Fulton present. Okay, folks. So, wow, that's okay. Ashley is here. Okay, gonna mark Ashley Sco present. Have to admit, this is the most absent people we've had at one time. So, what is there? A senior meeting or something going on campus? Some activity. Is there a workshop or a visitor to the campus or something, and students have to report to it? Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to put up my share screen and we're going to cover the new material today. Give me just 1 second. but this won't be a terribly long class. I told you all, we're going to get to the more fun part of the class. Now we're going to apply all of these terms to ways we can analyze a work of art. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share with you all something that I've added to the course resources link. So I'm going to go to the home page with our patron saint of the class, Jean-Michel Basquiat. And we're going to hit the student view so you will all see it. Okay, so this is a student view, and this is the course resources link, okay? Listen carefully, because I know there's always going to be somebody who didn't quite get it. Maybe you were distracted with something, but listen carefully. So when we scroll to the bottom, you see this link. It says Visual Analysis Chart. So I'm going to click it. And this is our visual analysis chart. So why do we need this and what do we use it for? When we engage a work of art, okay, we're going to list the features of that work of art on this chart to help us gauge the quality of it. So the first feature of the chart is the word line. We've already covered line, what it means and how it's applied in a work of art. Shape, okay. Form, volume and mass. Texture, value, space and implied depth. Color, motion and time. Unity, variety, balance, scale and proportion. Pattern, rhythm, focal point, emphasis, and subordination. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to pull up a work of art. Let me turn off the share screen while I do that so you don't have to see how cluttered my desktop is. Give me 1 second. Okay, folks, let me put back my share screen back up so you can see the analysis while it's happening. Okay, so all right, so this is our chart and this is our work of art. This is a artwork by Zenobia Bailey. She was a WPA era artist. That's Works in Progress Administration. Okay, so this piece of artwork is what we're going to use as our subject. So when we look at this work of art, what type of line work do we see? Can everybody see this image? Okay,
Yes.
so Kyle,
Yes, sir.
when you look at this work of art, what type of lines do you see in terms of the directions that the lines are moving in?
Just want to let you know I'm here, Professor.
Okay, who is that? What is your name? Because I can't see you all right now.
Okay, I have my camera on. Did you hear me?
What is your name? I
Oh,
can't
I'm
see
sorry.
you.
It's Timothy Shorts.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so Kyle has the floor. What type of line work do you see happening?
Well, most of the lines in the main centerpiece are facing downward vertically.
Okay, so you see vertical lines. All right. What type of shapes do we see, Chloe? Chloe Veal? Is Chloe
Yes, I'm
still here?
here.
What type of shapes do we see happening with this Zenobia Bailey work
We
of art?
see a variety of shapes. We see circles. Um, at the top, I guess you would say like a small triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
at the bottom, I would say like a rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Very good. So we're it's nothing that's gonna trick you. You just, say what you see. Okay, so Timothy Shorts, tell us about the form. Now, this is a tricky term because form speaks on the total visual effect of the object. Okay, the total visual effect. So, what do you see as the form, the total visual effect?
Um, so to basically sum it up, it looks like an artistic gel to me, meaning like the way the seating is, and they have like the straps in front, like it's a cell. I see it as like an artistic way of showing a gel or a cell
Okay.
block.
Okay. Interesting.
No, but
Interesting.
so wait. So what do you think, Professor? I want to hear what you think.
Okay. Well, I look at it a little bit differently. Uh, I don't know if you all are able to see from this image, but there is a grouping of teacups and a
I
teapot.
was going to say something about that.
Go ahead and
I was
say
going to.
something about that. I want to sum it up at the end. So whoever said that, go ahead and carry on about that because
That was
it's
me, Deja.
okay. Deja,
That
break
was
it
me,
down
Deja.
for it.
I want to say it
Mhm.
just kind of looks like an abstract like ceremonial type of thing. Like you know how people set up candles and teas and different type of foods for like their ancestors. I want to say it's like an abstract ancestral type of art.
Very good, very good. That was exactly the direction I was going in. It appears to be so. In the future, we want to use the term altar. This has the uh, this has the features of an altar because in altars in, let's say, African, not African, but Yoruba centered uh, worship, there's a
I
tendency
don't
to
know why Arthur didn't come up first in my head. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. It's like it because it's very weird looking. But yeah, if there was some objects that a certain loved one, like let's say that you have a great grandmother who always had tea, now teapots and teacups going every time you go over there, you would relate that to that ancestor, and maybe she wore something like when I look at this form, with the vertical hanging strings, and I look at this overall form, it makes me think kind of like a hat,
Yeah,
and
like a headpiece.
exactly just like a headpiece. And then we have these circular features, right? So I don't want to, take it over, but that's kind of the direction I'm going in with my understanding of it. So, Ever, tell us about the volume and mass. Okay, remember volume is the outline of the shape, and mass is the innards, the filling.
So its volume, overall, it sort of forms a sort of like almost like a pencil tip
Mm-hmm.
shape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, its mass, if I'm seeing this correctly, it looks really hollow and empty inside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Very good. Very good. We're doing good with this. Okay, so I would like Nataja to tell us about the texture. What type of texture are we looking at with this object? I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little bit closer. What type? What do you think it feels like? This object, the surfaces.
I'm not sure if
it's like clay or if it's fabric.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It looks the whatever is hanging down is definitely like a fabric.
I thought it was clay though too.
Yeah, it kind of looks like both. Some of it kind of looks like some velvet. I'm not sure.
Let's see.
It's
Okay.
a little hard for me to see.
Okay. So I'm gonna guess that this is all a soft sculpture, that this is fabric, because it does appear to have a weave
Yeah.
to it. Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, along with it being an altar, it could possibly be like that a yarn like rug or a threaded rug of some sort, like the circles in the back too, and also the outer rug at the bottom where the teapots are.
Mm-hmm.
Even the texture from the top of like the pencil shape, I want to say hat. Even the top, you can see where they have like a little ruffle ball or yarn balls there. But it just looks
Yes.
like everything was like threaded, very like all of the shapes were like threaded in that way.
Absolutely. Very good. Very good. Okay, we're moving along with this. Okay, remember that term value where we talk about the shading of the object. So I'm going to ask Jaron Barnes, tell us about the shading of this object. Where is the what's happening with that? Can you see it, Jaron? Okay, he might not be here. So let's,
Can you repeat that question?
yeah, let's talk about the lightness or darkness of the surface, the value. That's our next bullet on our list.
So I think the lightness of the yellow background is feeding off the brown at the bottom.
Okay, okay.
And I think as the yellow background mixes with some of these colors, it turns brown at the bottom. Like you start from top to bottom. Because if I'm not mistaken, brown is made from a shade of yellow as well.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, so now we got a complex question here. So let me see something right here. This complex question. Okay, I'm gonna give this complex question to Sierra. Sierra Gaines. You ready,
All right.
Sierra?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Tell us about the space and implied depth of this particular. So the way we want to look at this is called an installation, a sculptural installation. So these are freestanding objects. So tell us about the space and implied depth from your point of view.
Um, Hold on, let me zoom in. I think the space between where the yarn is hanging down, I don't know. That's a strong question.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a hint. Okay,
Okay.
when we talked about space in the readings, we use terms like positive space and negative space, right? You
Mm-hmm.
remember what negative space referred to?
If I'm being honest, no, sir.
I
Okay.
think I know. I think the negative space is at the bottom where you have the teacups and everything, where you
Mm-hmm.
see where circle around the cups, but you can't really see the circle.
Got you. Got you. Very good. Okay. So when we deal with this, I'll give you like an example of what would be a good answer. Like all of the stuff y'all are saying is pretty good, but I would mention that this is a freestanding sculpture. So the minute you mention that it's freestanding and, it appears to be in the foreground. Okay. So let's take a look. We have a horizon line that defines the separation between a wall and a floor. So we know that these circular forms are positioned on a wall, and that this structure in the front is positioned as in the foreground. So I would discuss it that way. Since it's inside of a space because it's freestanding, we can see that it's not on the wall based on this horizon line. Okay, so I'm going to throw this one out to the collective. Whoever responds first gets it. let's talk about the colors of this.
And in this painting, I mean, in this sculpture, I see contrasting colors because you have the light brown, the light yellow, and the brown on the floor. And then you have a lot of colorful colors that are on the sculpture and on the circles in the background, which act as contrast to make a full picture.
Okay. So let's mention some of those colors. What are some of the colors that you see beyond the dark yellow?
I see orange, I see blue, I see brown, I see a shade of red, and then I see different shades of blue as well.
Very good. Very good. So we just simply just reporting what we see. Okay, now this next bullet, I would say it does not apply to this. It's called motion in time. We reserve that for video footage. With video footage, we discuss motion in time as well as performance-based stuff where people are moving and things are moving. Okay, now it gets a little complicated. We have to refer to our design principles of unity, okay, of unity. And so I'm going to ask Ms. Turner, when you look at this, where do you see the unity happening? And if that's kind of confusing, just let me know and I'll kind of break it down a little bit for you.
Yeah, you could break it down because.
Okay, so I think the first example of unity in this composition is this grouping of circular forms that are on the back wall. The circular forms grouped together become one big form, and the combination of elements combines with this foreground image as well. But for the most part, the circular forms are definitely grouped together and unified. And we also have forms that are pattern based that bring the grouping together as well as this circular helix or sun sigil located at the bottom. So that's kind of like when with unity, you're looking at how groups of things, when shown together, become one thing. Okay. Now we break the unity down. I want the same student to answer this question with variety. Okay, so we've seen what's unified. What are the things that we see that are unified? What is the variety of shapes that you see?
The circles, right?
Okay, we got circles. Okay, so what else do you see, Miss Turner? What other shapes do you see at work?
No, that's not. Is it a triangle?
You see lots of little triangles. And then you see, how would you describe these grouping of circular lines inside the circular spaces?
How would I describe them? I don't know. They're small. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you would say that there are circular line patterns that are added to the circular forms. And then what would we say about this? What would we say about this area right here? What would you say about that? We have because we have a lot of different things being in the quality of the image. So I'll go ahead and say for you. So we have text. We have a text element because this is Sister Paradise's Great Walls of Fire revival tent. So that's why it's shaped like this, because it's actually based on a tent. And it says Mystic Seer. And it says Faith Heals. I can't make out that other word. Some Enchantress Extraordinaire. So this is all about mysticism. So I would say you have text elements that are part of the variety. You have various patterns based on contrasting squares and contrasting triangles. And you have circular line patterns inside of the circular spaces. So we're just being very, very general. We're just kind of looking at it from a scientific perspective. Now, this next question is very interesting. Who would like to take, what type of balance do we see inside of this picture window? What type of balance do we see? Because remember, we have two types of balance. We have symmetrical balance, which is equal visual weight on both sides. And then we have asymmetrical balance, where it is not equal visual weight on both sides of the whatever is in the image.
I think it's symmetrical.
Okay, very good. Tell us why.
Because like, even if the circles in the background are like not matched up, the front piece is like, you know, flat on the ground. It looks symmetrical in the way of it.
Very good answer. Very good answer. Okay, so it's symmetrically balanced. Okay, so now when we talk about scale and proportion, I would like to hear from is Jeremiah Albert here? Okay, Mr. Albert isn't here. I would like to hear from Jordan. Is Jordan here?
I'm here.
Okay, Jordan, tell us about the scale and proportion. So remember, scale refers to the size of it, okay? And proportion refers to you know, the balance of the elements.
The scale, I would say, is tall, I would say, in a sense, but it's not overly what am I trying to say? It's not super big,
Right,
but
it's not
it's
monumental.
tall, yeah, it's tall enough to catch the audience's eye. And the proportion, I would say it's well proportioned because everything looks equal from the top to the bottom and how it's been put together.
Very good, very good. So what I would like you all to consider is when you talk about scale and proportion, you could say, I sense the size of this entire composition, and I'm using the teacups as my way of accounting for the size. So I could tell if this is a traditional size teacup, this is probably about 6.5 feet tall. That would give me a sense of the scale, and the proportions of it are relatively balanced. Very good. Okay, and the next one is an easy one. Very, very easy. So I would like Devante to say, what type of patterns do you see happening? Is Devante here? Okay, well, let's see. Anybody can take it who would like to. What type of patterns do we see at work? We kind of covered it somewhat with the variety.
I think I see like Aztec Indian type of patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So, the circle on the right hand side in the back,
Uh-huh.
and how the tent looks at the top. It looks very tribal, like a tribal pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Giving me the feel that it's like a tribal ceremony that's taking place.
Very good. Very good.
No,
Another
you're
way.
saying, wait. You're saying very good, but is that what it is?
Well, there's a different way of describing it. I would look at it from my perspective. I would say it definitely has some spiral patterns happening. When I look at this black and white circle in the background, I kind of see the beginning of an optical effect with spirals. I see a lot of what we would refer to as circular patterns. I see a checkerboard pattern. I see a triangular pattern. You know,
Oh,
I would talk about that. You know, just
okay, gotcha.
the groupings of patterns. So you could even go as far as to say these circular patterns appear to be mandalas. So, you know, it's just based on, you base it on, you know, here's the way we look at art, right? Here's the understanding of it. There's no right way or wrong way of looking at it, because we all bring our personal experiences with us to the piece of art. So we're relating it to things we already know about. So, you know, of course, I'm going to look at it and see things, you know, like I actually see not only a mandala, but I see some elements of the Mayan calendar. I don't know if you all have seen that. It's a circular structure, and it's got all of these different geometric shapes with these, you know, it has geometric shapes and patterns, but, you know, none of that's necessary. You bring your own experience to it. This piece is
Yeah, so it is a tribal pattern then, right?
You could say it's definitely a ritualistic pattern.
Gotcha. Ritualistic. So we had a test in our exam, and we seen that the correct answer would be what you just said.
Well, when you get this assignment, I'm going to review it. It won't be a multiple choice thing. I'm going to just base it off of what you write, because if those things that I describe aren't really part of your vocabulary, then you're not going to relate it to them. You get what I'm saying? I want you to just bring your personal experiences that you can relate to into the answer.
Understood.
Okay. All right. So we have two more. We have rhythm. Okay. What type of rhythm do we sense? Visual rhythm do we sense with this? And what is carrying the rhythm? Who would like to take that?
I feel like the patterns and the colorways are carrying the rhythm, because it's like, even though it's different, like the circular patterns in the back behind the main sculpture, I feel like those share some of the same colors, like the browns and the oranges that like the main sculpture does. So it kind of like ties it all together.
Excellent answer. Excellent answer. I hope y'all heard that. She spoke exclusively on the visual elements, and she made a wonderful analysis of the rhythm of the art, because visual rhythm is something that we associate with music and audio, but we do have visual rhythm, and that's one of those intangibles that artists seek to bring to their work, because the rhythm is what keeps the eye moving throughout the composition. Lastly, focal point, emphasis, and subordination. So let me give you a refresher. The focal point is the part of the composition that your eye goes to first. And then from there, you see what sticks out, and that is your point of emphasis. And then subordination is the last thing your eye notices, but it supports the overall image. Who would like to take that?
I can.
Go for it.
Okay, so the focal point is obviously the altar, and then the artist puts emphasis on a lot of color and pattern, I'm noticing. And then as far as subordination, I would say that's the circles in the background, as well as the teacups at the bottom, because they're not the focal point, but you kind of just notice them.
Excellent, excellent. You see the teacups pretty much last, right?
Right.
So that means those are subordinating elements. So I think we got this, folks. So here's what's going to happen. I haven't posted the assignment yet, but I'm going to post an assignment within the next 24 hours where I'm going to find a work of art that I think is rich in these elements. And then your job will be to go down the visual analysis chart, and you're just going to use a Word document or a docs, and you're going to fill it out. You're going to fill it out. So, okay, this is the line quality, this is the value, blah, 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 blah. And we're going to do that quite a bit. And there's a bonus point assignment coming up for next week. We have a wonderful exhibition in our art gallery. Is the work of the artist Sean Clark. If you're able to follow him on Instagram, follow him. He's a young guy. He's from Gentilly, but his work is starting to get national attention. So we're very fortunate to have his work featured in our art gallery here at Dillard as his career starts to rise. So that is going to be open and viewable before the end of the week. And so you'll have a week to do the assignment. You just go in there with a visual analysis chart and analyze the work. and you can get 25 bonus points. And I will post that in the announcements link when everything is prepared. So that concludes today's session. Just I'll post an announcement when the assignment is active. And this is where it starts to get very, very interesting, because you now have all of this other information that you can use to analyze and assess artwork with. And we will, the work that I'm going to give you to analyze is going to be pretty interesting. So anyway, folks, are there any questions?
So you want us to put it in a Word document?
Yes, ma'am. Well, so you won't have to, fill out the chart you won't have to fill out the chart that's listed with the assignment. All you have to do is just put for each of the elements of the chart, line, and then you list the line effects, value, you list the value effects. You don't have to have it in a chart format, but the chart is the basic template that we're going to use to analyze and assess works of art.
Okay. And will this video be posted as well in course resources?
Absolutely. Probably within 24 hours. Okay. So are there any other questions? Okay, folks. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day. I think we had a really good session today, and this is pretty much going to be kind of the angle we take for the rest of the semester. So, we've gotten over the hump of all of these terms, and now we get to the fun part. So you all enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, you too.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Have a great day.
All right, bye.
Have a great day.
Thank you.